Most people think the Amazing World of Gumball is all jokes and slapstick, until it isn't. Beneath the humor lurk episodes that scarred fans for life, blending existential dread, psychological twists, and surreal horror. From cursed puppets to collapsing realities, these aren't just dark for a kids' show, they're dark, period. One was even co-created by the twisted minds behind Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. This countdown dives into Gumball's most disturbing episodes, the ones you never forget. Episode 5, The Puppets. This episode is the gateway into Gumball's nightmares. It starts innocently enough. Gumball and Darwin find a box of creepy old puppets in the attic. Darwin becomes obsessed with two of them. He even names them Frank and Howdy, and promises never to let them go. But these puppets have minds of their own. They react with anger when Gumball mocks them, and Darwin's voice even changes as if they're speaking through him. Things go from weird to horrifying when the puppets attack Gumball and drag Darwin into a bizarre puppet world, a colorful, kid-friendly looking place that feels deeply unsettling. No surprise, the Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared team. Inside this puppet dimension, Gumball finds Darwin being played with by life-sized versions of Frank and Howdy in an endless cycle of forced playtime, essentially torturing him under a cutesy guise. It's one of the show's most disturbing visuals. Darwin trapped in a pretend world with no escape. The puppets reveal their plan to keep Gumball and Darwin as their playthings forever. Gumball is only saved when Darwin tugs a loose thread and literally unravels the evil puppets, destroying their world.
Is it me or is that kinda underwhelming?
Yeah, I sort of thought everything would explode or something.
Wait, isn't this all imaginary?
How do they celebrate? By tossing those cursed puppets into a yard sale and selling them to another kid, effectively passing the horror to the next generation. It's a darkly comedic end that left fans both laughing and shuddering. If soul-stealing puppets aren't enough to give you nightmares, just wait. Episode 4, The Downer. Gumball's world turns into a literal ghost town in this episode.
They're changing! Actually, to be honest, that clown was always scary.
One morning, in a foul mood, Gumball wishes his entire family and everyone else would disappear.
I don't care! Darn it! Why can't you just go away and leave me in peace? Guys?
And in an ominous twist, his wish comes true. His family vanishes into thin air. He steps outside to find no friends, no neighbors, no life anywhere, alone in the empty, apocalyptic ruins of Elmore. It's the show's take on liminal space horror. A place that's normally full of life is now silent and abandoned, and it's incredibly creepy. At first, Gumball reacts like any kid who suddenly has the world to himself, goofing off with zero consequences. He runs through the streets, gorges on candy, causes some mischief, but the fun only lasts a few minutes before reality sets in and the true horror sinks in. The silence becomes deafening. The sky turns a dull gray and familiar places just feel wrong. Little unsettling details pop up. The local Joyful Burger sign now reads Misery Burger, and Gumball hallucinates a distorted version of himself, taunting him as darkness floods in. Soon, it turns into a full-on psychological nightmare. Gumball is chased by an encroaching void of darkness that swallows the town, cornering him in his house with nothing but blackness outside the doors. Imagine the sun disappearing and an endless night closing in. That's the vibe. In the scariest moment, Gumball cowers on the floor as the darkness nearly consumes him alive. Just when all hope seems lost, Gumball remembers something his dad once said: when you're feeling down, you need to get back into the swing of things.
Yeah, Dad, that's what I just said.
Emotionally, swings himself out of despair, and boom, reality resets. Everything snaps back to normal. It turns out Gumball was sleepwalking the whole time, his negative emotions conjuring that empty nightmare. The world flips from apocalypse back to ordinary in an instant. The Downer remains one of the show's most terrifying episodes. Fans were left wondering how Cartoon Network allowed that level of psychological horror in a kids' show. The episode brilliantly visualized loneliness and depression as an end-of-the-world scenario, and it definitely left a mark on viewers. Gumball escaped his self-made apocalypse, but now it's time to face a more familiar monster. Mom, trust us. You do not want to see Nicole Watterson go full rage mode. Episode 3, The Limit. If you've ever pushed your parents to the edge, this episode shows the nightmare scenario. It starts with a seemingly normal grocery trip, which, in Gumball's world, means chaos is imminent. Nicole Watterson lays down one simple rule: no candy today. Of course, Gumball, Darwin, and Anais immediately plot to sneak some candy anyway, and their big goofball dad, Richard, isn't much help either. After a series of failed candy heists, months, the kids grow increasingly desperate and defiant, basically declaring war on mom's authority. That's a big mistake. Nicole has been holding in her frustration, and when they push her too far, she snaps. In a scene that shocked viewers, sweet mother Nicole literally turns into a monster. She hulks out, eyes bulging, face contorted with fury, strength off the charts. The animation style even shifts. Nicole moves with unnatural, jerky motions and bizarre, magnified expression. It's straight up scary. One minute she's an exasperated parent, the next she's a rampaging creature out of a horror movie. The kids and Richard realize way too late that they've created a full-on MOM. Nicole's rampage through the supermarket is as thrilling as it is terrifying. She chases her family down the aisles like a predator, hunting prey. Security guards try to intervene, but she's unstoppable. She even takes a direct taser shot without flinching. Nicole in this state has basically ascended beyond cartoon logic. She's practically supernatural. For a few minutes, Gumball turns into a survival horror film with Mom as the monster. Younger viewers were equal parts awed and petrified. If nothing else, it taught a lot of us not to push our moms too far. Eventually, the family manages to outsmart Nicole. In a coordinated effort, Gumball and Richard lure her into a trap, while Darwin and Aeneas stretch plastic wrap across an arm. Nicole barrels straight into it and gets snagged like a wild animal. It's a jarring image. This once loving mother caught in a makeshift cling wrap cage. But it gives Nicole a moment to catch her reflection in a window. Seeing the monster she's become shocks her back to her senses. She deflates from her ferocious beast to embarrass Mom and immediately apologizes to her terrified kids. In the end, the Wattersons reconcile and head home. Ironically, they still end up with a pile of candy wheats. As thanks for subduing the rampaging beast, the frazzled store manager gives the kids all the candy they want. So was pushing Mom to the limit worth it? Kids sheepishly munch on their hard-won sweets, probably thinking, never again. This episode is a horror comedy gem. It starts relatably, what kid hasn't begged for candy at the store, and escalates into a full-on mom apocalypse. Many fans jokingly crowned Nicole the scariest cartoon mom ever. Surviving a Momzilla meltdown is one thing, but what if reality itself started falling apart? The next episode cranks up the mind-bending horror and breaks the fourth wall, leaving fans' jaws on the floor. Episode 2, The Signal. This episode is a total mind-bender. It begins innocently. Gumball and Darwin hanging at the mall, trying on goofy hats, when Gumball suddenly starts glitching.
Oh my God, bro.
And we mean glitching literally. His voice warps and repeats, and his body flickers like a broken video game character. Darwin thinks Gumball's just goofing around, especially when Gumball's garbled, glitchy words accidentally insult Darwin's outfit. So Darwin storms off in a huff. But we viewers can tell something is very wrong. It's as if the animation itself is failing. Back at home, the weirdness intensifies. The entire episode starts malfunctioning. Scenes cut abruptly. Characters swap voices. Objects vanish and reappear. The show is breaking its own reality. At first, only Gumball notices the glitches, which makes him look crazy to everyone else. But as the world continues to unravel, Darwin finally sees it too. Now both brothers are freaking out as their reality turns into a surreal nightmare. Imagine watching your home, your family, and even your own body flicker in and out like TV static. It's hilarious in concept, but deeply unsettling to actually see. The climax of The Signal hits with a massive fourth wall break that left fans floored. Amid the chaos, Gumball and Darwin manage to fast forward, or teleport, back to the mall where it all began. There, the truth is revealed. They discover they're actually just characters in a TV show. The glitches happened because the audience, us, briefly lost the signal. For Gumball and Darwin, it's an existential gut punch. Imagine finding out your entire life is just a cartoon being watched by strangers. As the episode itself quips, that's gotta mess you up. In the end, the world resets once the signal is restored. The episode basically reboots reality to fix itself.
Some satellite broadcast issues. We assure you we are working on the problem, so please, bear with us while we try to...
Life in Elmore goes back to normal like nothing happened, which adds some comedy, though Wattersons just shrug off the bizarre events. But we were left with our minds blown. The Signal expertly mixes silly moments, Richard smacking the TV when the signal cut out, classic dad, with nightmare fuel, warped faces, physics gone haywire. It's become a fan favorite for being equal parts entertaining and disturbing. This episode proved that Gumball could pull off meta horror and still stick the landing, and unbelievably, it's still not the darkest one on the list. One final episode tops even this insanity. We've We've braved evil puppets, an empty world, a mom-turned-monster, and a reality meltdown. But nothing can prepare you for our final entry. A simple happy idea turned into a Technicolor nightmare. Get ready. The climax of our dark journey is here. Finally, we reach the darkest Gumball episode of all, The Joy. It warps happiness into something truly terrifying. Right from the start, you know something's off. It opens with an eerie, blood-red title card reading, Monday 7:53 a.m., a somber detail this show never does. That sets an unnerving tone, and it only gets crazier from there. Morning comes and Gumball and Darwin shuffle to breakfast all groggy, typical Monday blues. Their dad Richard decides to fix that with a wonder hug, basically a supercharged bear hug filled with all the happiness in the world. One big squeeze and boom, a rainbow-colored mushroom cloud of joy erupts from their house. It works a little too well. Gumball and Darwin show up at school wearing eerie, ear-to-ear grins on a Monday morning. Something is wrong. Miss Simeon immediately notices the boys' bizarre cheeriness. This isn't normal joy. It looks more like a virus. When Gumball and Darwin break into an uncontrollable auto-tune singing fit in the middle of class, Miss Simeon has seen enough. She quarantines them in the nurse's office, determined to contain the outbreak. She's not wrong. Their manic happiness is contagious. The giddy mood spreads like a virus. One hug and another person catches it. Soon the entire school is infected. Picture a zombie apocalypse, but instead of groaning for brains, everyone's giggling and chasing the few uninfected for hugs. It's hilarious and horrifying at once. The infected have wide eyes and Joker-like grins. Miss Simeon barricades herself in her office as the halls overflow with cackling joy zombies. Gathering her courage, she ventures out into the chaos, dodging deranged hug seekers amid flickering lights and swarms of creepy grinning faces. It's pure horror movie vibes. Eventually, Gumball and Darwin corner her, both wearing huge smiles and vacant eyes. In a final act of dark humor, Miss Simeon hits record on a camcorder and grimly declares, "The story has come to a happy ending," just as the boys close in. Seconds later, she collapses into maniacal laughter, rainbow-colored drool leaking from her mouth, and her eyes wild with forced bliss. It's a scene straight out of a horror movie, on a kid's show. And here's the kicker. The episode ends right there. No rescue, no waking up from a nightmare, no antidote. The credits roll on that horrific note, implying the whole school is doomed to eternal happiness. The Joy offers zero closure, which makes it even more disturbing. It left everyone thinking, wait, did that really happen? For a kid's cartoon to embrace such a bleak ending is almost unheard. Many fans, young and old, were equal parts mind blown and creeped out. The Joy turned something as innocent as a hug into pure nightmare fuel. It's the peak of Gumball's horror, and it absolutely deserves the #1 spot on our list. After all that darkness, you probably need a palate cleanser. A reminder that the Amazing World of Gumball is, at its heart, a comedy, and things usually return to normal by the end of the episode. As scary as these episodes were, they also showcase the creativity and boldness of the show's writers and animators. Gumball was never afraid to take risks. Now, what do you think? Did these episodes freak you out as much as they did us? Let us know which Gumball episode haunted your childhood, or if you're totally brave and none of them did. If you enjoyed this dark trip down memory lane, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into the wildest moments in animation. We've got more quirky and creepy content on the way, so stay tuned. Thank you for watching, and remember, it's all fun and games until your cartoon goes insane. See you next time.